what sort of response are you expecting from yourselves and from the Saints, given the weekend's results last weekend?
Well, I can't talk on behalf of the Saints, Brett, but certainly from our side of things, we've done a lot of work in regards to where we let ourselves down last week, and we're really looking forward to getting out there. Whilst it's, we're really feeling for our fans, going into a lockdown again, and it's disappointing. With the Indigenous round, we value the Sir Doug Nicholls round immensely. We've had a strong history here within our Indigenous players, so it's a difficult and disappointing weekend from that behalf. But yeah, we're expecting to step up and respond.
Obviously, the lockdowns affected everyone in different ways. What's been the biggest impact on the Kangaroos?
I think it's to not make it an issue, Aaron. We understand, the reasons. We understand the protocols. We've just got to get on with it. There's certain ways that we have to tailor our training, which is a little bit different to what we'd normally do. We've been able to get everyone through training this week. We've been able to do our line training from that side of things. So, look, we've been through it. We've experienced it. It's not like it's something, brand new. So therefore, we've just been able to adapt and move through the week.
Just on that as well, I know that the coaches have put a big emphasis on soft cap, the AFL soft cap. How much extra pressure does this put on the already limited staff?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to comment on the soft cap. We've got issues within our community at the moment that are way more important than the soft cap. So we're feeling for our fans. Mate, to be honest, we've just got on with our work this week.
Thanks.
No, as you say, you've been through this before, but the lack of crowds, how much does that change things on game day? And is it something that you address with the players, or is there anything else that you need to do to perhaps get that energy up?
Yeah, look, we might touch on it tomorrow. It's unusual. There's no doubt when you walk into the stadium and there's no one there. It has a way different atmosphere. There's no doubt about that. I think we'll just have to create our own. We'll have to make sure that our guys are communicating strongly, whether we're up, down in the game. We have momentum. Opposition has momentum. So I think it's an area that we just have to be focused amongst ourselves and understand the clinical side of how the stadium's going to feel.
David, you've made just the one change this week on the back of last week's game. Is that because the guys did so well the previous week against Hawthorn, or is it a numbers thing, or sort of in terms of reacting to the performance from?
Well, it's probably a combination. I mean, Tristan Cherry had a great game, but Tom Campbell, we think, is in pretty reasonable form. Tom's been good in the midfield from a ruck perspective. He's also been able to impact the forward end on the scoreboard. Will Phillips had a really good run last week. Bailey Scott comes in because he was in good form the previous week. Young Ford and Walker are probably not ready at this point of time. So a little bit around numbers. But look, and we certainly talked a lot about Tristan this week to come back in. But we just felt that Tom was probably still in good form.
Robbie Tarrant was due to play VFL this week. Obviously, no VFL. Does that push his re-entry back with the bye as well? Or would you expect him to come back in after the bye still?
Yeah, we'll need to think around that, I think, Aaron. We were keen for him to play a half to get a bit more physicality into his training. We've had a quick chat this morning as to what that might look like for him going forward. We'll have to put our thinking hats on as to what that looks like. How we construct our training this week for Robbie in particular might be a little bit different, to the norm. So we'll have a chat with our HP guys during the week. So hopefully it doesn't delay his return. We just have to solve that problem a little bit smarter internally, I think.
No, so I was just curious to ask you about the impact of Ben Cunnington over the last couple of weeks. I mean, as the midfield group is growing and coming along, looks like his role as an experienced player is fairly important. But have you rated his output, leadership-wise and in his game so far?
Yeah, it's a really good point, Nick. I think I'd rate his leadership right up there. His capacity to help and educate, Taryn and Luke in the midfield. I think Jai's got a little bit of experience underneath his belt now. And I think what we see when we review it a bit closer than, what you see sort of publicly, his ability to direct, help, assist is been crucial. But so that's one part, I think, of his leadership that's been really impressive. And then the second thing is obviously being able to put performance on the table. I think our leadership group, in total, if you have a look at those guys, have performed really regularly. So yeah, it's a credit to him that not only has he been able to perform in his midfield role, nicking a little bit forward, but I think he's helped the other guys come along as well.
His leadership, certainly from the outside, and we all know he's not the most vocal, sort of guy. But do you get the sense is he the sort of player that lets his footy do the talking more in his leadership? What do you how do you sum up his style of guiding some of those guys?
Yeah, he doesn't say too much, does he? The video we put up the other week was pretty funny, actually. We raised him a little bit about that. I think for him, less is more. It's not necessarily just about having conversation, but it's really pointed when it is. He's got a real thirst for developing and helping our young guys through. I mean, you don't see it on the field, but his work with Powell, Lazaro, Phillips, post-training when they're doing some craft work has been outstanding. So he may only say 2 or 3 things to them, at a particular time, but they're really clear. And then I think you're right. The other aspect is it is a leadership by showing direction on how he actually goes about it.
Thanks, Nobes.
Is that all, guys?
All good. Just finally, again, just for our fans, we're really thinking of you under these circumstances. We're hopeful that we'll be able to get down to Tassie in a couple of weeks. We don't know what the mechanisms are going to look like in the next few days, but we're certainly feeling for you guys out there and can't wait to get you back into the games and hear that enormous Kangaroos cheer for us at Marvel. So good luck, guys. Hang in there.